Do you ever wish that you could rewind the chart and know exactly when it was going to explode? Well, I've got news for you. There's these indicators that predict every single move, and I've used these to predict every move that I've made profitable trades on this year. It's not hype, it's not luck. These two indicators predict everything. In this video, I'm gonna prove it to you with real trades that I've made, and one specifically that I'm in right now. If you're tired of guessing and chasing everything under the sun, including price action, then this video is for you. So let's start with the volume and what it really tells you. We hear volume out there all the time. If you watch the pundits on TV, they talk about the volume. Everybody's just talking about it, but what is it exactly? What does it actually do? Well, if you come over to my chart, at the bottom of this chart, you see these red and yellow bars with this yellow line on top of it. Well, the yellow line is the average volume over the last 30 days. So if you have, let's say, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, and it's just gonna take an average over 30 days of volume, and that's where the bar is. Why is that important? Because the days that you're actually getting volume, like today, for example, or we can use yesterday, for example, on Lululemon, we like to see the volume of that day relative to what the average has been over the last 30 days. Why is that helpful? Because you can see where buyers are flowing. So if we just look at Lululemon and zoom in a little bit closer, what do you notice about the volume between, let's use this day here, this day here, this day here. Well, this day is higher than this day, and this day is higher than this day. This is a trade that I'm actively in right now. Why is that important? Because you have increasing buying volume from day to day. What does that mean? More people are getting into the party. That's what it means. If you're think about the boulder going up the hill. If you start pushing a boulder up the hill and you're one person, and then 20 more people come, and then 30 more people come, aren't you going to be able to push that boulder up that hill a lot quicker and a lot easier with the 50-some people than if it was just you by yourself? Of course you would. And that's what that's what volume tells you. When you see increasing buying volume, especially over average volume, you know that you have more buyers coming into the stock, more momentum on your side, pushing you to the top side. I do believe that this trade is going to make it up here to the 25-day moving average. Is it a certainty? No, it's not. But the buying is on my side right now. Now, I'm going to have to pay attention to the buying that's happening today. We'll get more into this trade as the video goes on, but it's just something that I'm noticing is that we're starting to have this increasing volume, increasing momentum. People are on my side. I like being on the side that the majority of people are on when it comes to trading in the stock market because, again, it's momentum, and that's what we're riding. Now, something else that I look at is the trend, and you've heard me say this before if you've watched any videos, and it's coming through the sweet spot here and having the highest probability to make money. When I'm between this top 80% line and this bottom 32% line, this is called my sweet spot. This is the area that I'm making the most money, or that I have the highest probability to make money. Okay, so on my screen here, and this is where trend is so important and volume is so important, and we're gonna get into the candlesticks, but I am taking you back to June 25th. You can see that the trade has been down. There was no reason to get into this thing. What got me excited to enter this? Well, I was paying attention to the volume and I was paying attention to the trend. They were absolutely not there at this point. We don't have good volume. We've actually, if you look back, this is about, call it 3 weeks of trading. You've had selling volume consistently. So you could have shorted it, but that's not the point of what we're talking about. I was looking at this saying, all right, I think this is going to probably turn into a longer position. Why? If I zoom the chart back, I can see this is where we had a previous bottom right over here. Of course, this was in 2024, but these play a level of support. And if we draw the line over, look, we're at that same support level. So my thought was, okay, we've had a lot of selling coming into the stock lately. Actually, it started back up here on earnings. It's probably at a base and it's going to probably start rallying back forward. I have to pay attention to the volume though, and I have to pay attention to the trend. So if we just go through the progression, this is the replay feature in TradingView. You click the next candle. Nothing really there, but what did you notice? The volume or the trend started to creep up a little bit. So focus down here right now. Let's go to the next one. Look at that. We're starting to get some buyers coming into the stock. Do I buy? No, I don't just buy for buying's sake. I'm waiting for red and yellow to both get into the sweet spot. We would need to be there, okay? We're not there yet. Let's click the next one. Now we're starting to get somewhere. We're starting to see that red and yellow is in the sweet spot. Question, do we buy here? The answer is no. Why? And you might be saying, well, why? You're in the sweet spot. That's not what it's all about. That's just one of the major indicators. This is where people get confused. They'll buy on one specific indicator. The stock will go against them and they'll say, well, trading doesn't work. Well, no, we have multiple indicators. We don't need to have hundreds of indicators. We need to have 2 or 3. And in this case, we're going to use 3. Okay, so we're in the sweet spot. Great. We have the highest probability of making money. Do we have good buying volume coming in? Yeah, it's pretty decent. We were under average, but fine. Let's go to the next candle. And this is important for me to show you guys. You need to exude patience. I've been doing this for a very, very long time. You need to have patience coming into the stocks here, okay? This is the candle that I bought on. Why? We were red and yellow in the sweet spot. We already checked that one off. We were having good volume coming into the stock. Great. The next thing is the buy signal, the engulfing candlestick. You notice how this candle, it was back and forth. It means that we started the day here, we rallied up a little bit, rallied down, ended the day right in the middle. About the same thing here. Rallied up, rallied down, stayed in the middle. This day here, we've had multiple days of buyers on our side. And what happened? We got a big engulfing candlestick and we were able to purchase the stock. That was the play on, and that was the kind of the important entry signal and something that nobody tells you. You need to put these 3 things together, and it's literally like stealing candy from a baby. Now let's go to the next candle. Let's see what's happening now. This was July 1st. So let's go to July 2nd. Well, look what happened here. Well, July 2nd, didn't really get anything. Bounced around, bounced up, bounced down, volatile day. But what's the most important part here? We were still up here in the sweet spot. We still had fantastic volume, increasing volume, right? The question's going to be, what do we do today? Is the candle going to go like this, and are we going to march towards that 25-day moving average? Or, because it's July 3rd, tomorrow's a holiday, people are probably not in the market today. That's why you're seeing such low volume here. This is under 10% of average volume. I like to see a little bit more. Granted, the market's only been open about 20 minutes, but I'd like to see a little bit more volume coming into this thing. But are we going to get that engulfment? Or are we going to take profits on it? Or are we going to exit on it? Because we're getting pretty high here on the stochastic. Volume's getting kind of weak. We're getting spindly. That's the name of the candle. What happens next? But the point is, of what I'm telling you, it's trend, it's volume, it's engulfing candlestick. These are the metrics that people won't tell you about. They tell you about everything else under the sun, but they don't tell you these simple metrics. So let's talk a little bit of some of the downfalls to what new traders will make. They'll chase price. Only price. They don't look at the trend, they don't look at the volume. They only chase price. Now, how can that be a bad thing? Well, this is a great example. If you look at something like today, I'm going to draw what we have today. Let's say we have very low volume, July 3rd, 4th of July is tomorrow, market's closed, probably not a lot of people participating in the market today. What could happen if there was only buyers coming in today? Well, the stock price you could get a candle like this at some point, and you say, oh yeah, I'm going to get into that thing. But you only have about 500,000 out of 3.5 million shares being traded per day. Think about it this way. You have 3.5 million people that usually buy the stock, right? And on this day, you have 350,000 people that bought the stock only. That's it. Well, if there was 350,000 people buying and not a single seller, what's going to happen to the stock price? There's no push and pull going on. It's going to go up. And if there's 350,000 people selling and no buyers, what's going to happen? Stock's going to drop and it's going to look very dramatic. That's why you need to correlate average volume with daily volume to see what's going on. There's a couple of companies that I'm currently invested in right now, and I'll see massive swings in the stock price. They're going through litigation. It's a big thing. But I'll go over and I say, oh, why is this down 4% today? And I'll go and look and say, well, there's only been 1 million shares traded out of 10 million average shares traded. Therefore, should I be worried? No, because it was probably 1 million shares of selling. It's not a big deal. This is where algorithms can get involved. Algorithm trading is I believe it's 1/3 of Goldman Sachs' platform right now. Goldman Sachs is one of the biggest banks in the world in the world history, and there's about 1/3 of their money flows that are algorithms. What does that mean? Well, if we look here, and let's say that the 25-day moving average is here on Lululemon. Well, the second this thing hits 261.80, what's going to happen? Well, Goldman Sachs algorithms are either going to send this thing to the moon or it's going to pull it back down. And as soon as it pulls it back down, what's the algorithm going to do? It's going to buy it back up and it's going to sell it back. It's all over the place. There are algorithms that are based on some people's posts on X. They can be bearish. They can come on and say something bearish on a stock. The algorithm is going to pull it from X and it's going to buy or sell the stock based on that. These algorithms are insane. So that is where you could also get fake volume coming from. It's kind of a fake out. That's what I like to call it. It's not true volume that's going to be sustained over a long period of time. That is why it is so important to buy on increasing volume, to make sure that you have a lot of people coming in, not just a 10%, a 20% of the average volume. And you like to see increasing because it means that real people, real dollars are on your side. And it's harder for the stock price to pull back. So you may be looking at your screen right now and your head is spinning and you're listening to me saying, what just happened? What did he say? Guys, this is more simple than it sounds. I understand this can sound very, very difficult in the beginning. It's not. It's just like anything in life. The more repetition that you do, the better off you're going to be. Remember, I've been doing this for 21 plus years. This to me is like a second language right now. And it's something that you can do too. Trust me, there's so many people in my Patreon community that speak the same language as I do right now. They didn't know what they were doing 6 months to a year ago, many cases 5, 6, 7 years ago. And now they speak the same language. A lot of these trades that I get over here on my watch list and my community watch list that is basically from you guys, these are trades that were brought to me by you. I don't find them all. And that's the great thing about the community. Not only can we get your chart set up the right way, you can follow along during the live streams. You can have access to me and access to the other community members. It's just a fantastic place to find stocks, even if you're not trading them, to practice. This is a skill that you're going to use for the rest of your life. Start with it right now. It's going to be so beneficial to you down the road when you eventually have a lot of money and you say, I don't know what to do with all this money. You're going to know what to do. Click the link in the description below. Join the community. It's a fantastic place to be. Now, this is only a piece of it. I made a long 2.5-hour video of everything that you need to know about the way that I trade. It's in the description right here. It's chaptered. You can always go back to it as a resource. Go check it out. It's awesome. Have a great day. Click the video link on your screen. Go check it out.